Hello and welcome. My name is Miriam. I'm a family therapist, and today I'm going to talk about 3 areas where we parents need to be brave about in order to support our children's mental well-being. Now, this is a part of Children's Mental Health Week put by a charity called Place to Be, and they've invited us to think about our brave. What is our brave? And I'm going to talk about our brave as parents. So the first area that I'd like to touch on is our attitude to mistakes, to our children's mistakes and to our own mistakes. And we need to have a really brave attitude to that in order to enable our children to come to us when they've got a problem, when they're distressed, when they're anxious, when something's going wrong in their lives. We want them to come to us, tell us what's bothering them, and for us to be in a position to be able to help them. And to create a relationship where this is possible, we need to have a really brave attitude to their mistakes and to our own. An example of that would be if your 7-year-old comes to you and says, there's a child in my class that bugs me, he calls me names, he mocks me in front of other people, and it's been going on for a year, 2 years maybe. Our first reaction would usually be, why didn't you tell me before? But if we think about it from our child's point of view, our children summon the courage to broach this subject with us, and what they need from us is understanding, empathy, support, curiosity, wanting us to understand what really is going on and how we can help. And a lot of times, our initial reaction, without our being intending to do that, is going to be of criticism of them. And if we do that, it's much less likely that they will come to us later in life when the problems are bigger. And that requires a lot of bravery from our side. We need to take a long, deep breath and pretend not to be shocked, contain our own feelings, and just be there for our children. And then maybe some years down the line, when they find themselves in a party where all kinds of dodgy things happen and they don't feel safe, they're going to be able to call us and ask us to get them out of there, rather than think, oh no, if my parents find out that I'm here, they're going to kill me. We don't want that attitude. We want our children to be able to trust us and go to us for help if they got themselves into trouble, if they made a mistake, whether they were on the receiving end of irresponsible behavior or whether they themselves were unkind, bullying, whatever it is that they're doing. We want to be able to own to the mistake and come to us for support. And another thing that will help in this area is for us to be honest about our own shortcomings, our own mistakes, be ready to apologize, and not pretend that we were the amazing, ideal children that always listened to their parents, always did their homework, were never lonely, never struggled, not at school, not socially. That's probably not true. So if we show ourselves to our children as imperfect, it's going to be much easier for them to come to us when they are in distress. So that's my first invitation, and the first area where I think we need to be brave as parents. That's our attitude to our own mistakes and to our children's mistakes. The second area where I believe we often need to be really brave as parents is when we think other people are judging us and are judging our functioning as parents. Some people who may be very important to us, they can be our family or friends, may have opinions about how we bring up our children. They may think that we are too strict, or that we're too lenient, or that we don't feed our children the right things, or maybe the school is not right for them. They may have opinions and they may express them to us. Now, I'm not saying disregard everybody's opinions and don't listen. A lot of times people do have good ideas, but we need to consider them, see if they're right for our family, if they suit our children, what's the right way that we believe is to bring up our children, and then pursue it and not apologize for it to anyone. And sometimes people don't necessarily judge us when we imagine that they do. Say our child misbehaves in a shop or isn't very successful at school, or has got social problems, or is very distressed and anxious, we may believe that parents or professionals or teachers or just people standing by are judging us, and a lot of the times they don't really. But even if they do, we need to have the courage to stick with our own way if we believe it is right for our children. And a kind of example of that will be that sometimes our child may be unkind, or they may have done something at school that's not quite right, and we feel other people expect us to require that our child apologize there and then. And we know that that's not right for our children. We know sometimes that they need a little bit of time to calm down, to reflect on what they were doing, and to apologize because they mean it. Otherwise, it's going to be experienced as humiliation. And if this is what we think, and this is what we think we're right, we can explain ourselves to others or not, but we need to pursue whatever we think is right for our child, regardless of how people may or may not judge us. So that's the second area where we parents need to be brave about in order to support our child's mental well-being. The third area where we need to sometimes be really brave as parents is to recognize when there is a problem, when our child is struggling, say socially, academically, mentally, when our child is more anxious than normal, more shy than normal, more down and lacking in self-confidence than we would like them to be. And if that is the case, see if we can find professional help. The first point of call would sometimes be talking to the teacher. Again, families are different, children are different, problems are different. But lots of parents are feeling scared of going to a professional because they don't want their children to think that there's something wrong with them, and they certainly don't want a label for the child. But a lot of these times, children already feel that something's not quite right, and sometimes they have labeled themselves or other people have labeled them already. What would be a better label for a child? Lazy and stupid, or dyslexic? What would be a better label? Being naughty, difficult, not listening, a trouble, or ADHD? I think dyslexia and ADHD are sometimes far better than the labels other people give children who struggle, and children give themselves sometimes. And when it comes to anxiety or to feeling not very good in their own skin, not having a lot of confidence, a lot of the times there wouldn't be any labels, there would just be help available. So we as parents sometimes need to be brave, take a deep breath and say, our child's struggling right now. Maybe there's a way that we can help them. There's no stigma to that. There's no problem. There's just a lot of help available. So these are the three areas that I chose to highlight today where we as parents need to be brave. The first one is a brave attitude to mistakes, our children's mistakes and our own mistakes. The second one is being brave to pursue our own way, even if it's unpopular and even if other people may criticize or judge us. The third one is looking and seeking help if we think this is needed. If our child is struggling with their mental well-being, there's help available. So I'd love to hear from you. What are the areas where you needed to find your own brave? If you can put this in the comments below, that'd be great. In the meantime, enjoy your children. Thank you very much. Come back here for more content. Like and subscribe. Thank you.